you're looking for a car, recreational
Hello, my name is Larry Lahr, City Administrator in Cold Spring, and I'm talking to you a bit about the ROCORI Trail project and specifically about some very good news that we received recently. The trail project is one of what is deemed to be 3 phases, with the first phase connecting the communities of Richmond and Cold Spring, and we call that phase 1, and we have been focusing very heavily on getting that first phase fully funded. Until a week ago, we had just shy of $1 million allocated for that project, and the very good news recently was that we received an allocation from the state of Minnesota of $800,000, which is really the final piece of that puzzle in order to get phase 1 constructed. The phase that we're working on now picks up where the Glacial Lakes Trail ends, which is a DNR-owned railroad corridor. Right now that ends just about in the area of the Granite West campus. So again, it's state trail up to that point. It's technically 178th Avenue in Wakefield Township. The ROCORI Trail starts at that point, and with this phase now funded, that trail would run on the railroad corridor hopefully and take you up to the Sauk River. Phase 2 begins at that point, and of course there's a great many things we need to work out with that phase. Well, we certainly know this has been a difficult year for the state of Minnesota financially, but every other year, on even-numbered years, there is essentially a bonding package that the legislature puts together. There are hundreds of millions of dollars of core state projects, and then there are also what would be called probably regional projects that are specific to legislators' districts that typically get included in that package. This year was a tough year, certainly for us going in. With the economy the way it was, there was an attempt to keep that budget small, of course, and there were somewhere in the order of $20 to $30 million in trail projects, nearly all of which had been cut. And our project, therefore, was very fortunate to survive. We were in with somewhere about maybe $25 million worth of projects when the bill went to the governor's desk, and he vetoed $21 million worth of projects, and the ROCORI Trail did survive. I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that it is the final piece now of funding that is needed for this first phase, and that is an extension of the Glacial Lakes State Trail in the eyes of the governor. But I would have to say a lot of credit goes to primarily our local legislators working to get that bill to the point where it even made it to the governor's desk. And then also for the folks that have been helping out with this project, they deserve a lot of that credit as well. One of the questions that we get more often now with this exciting news especially is the timing of this project. And so what we are generally telling people is that the first phase is expected to begin construction in the spring of 2011. And by the end of that summer, by basically the end of fall probably, that construction would most likely be complete. And so it's important for folks to remember that the state is responsible for building the trail from 178th Avenue into Richmond, but they are on a roughly the same schedule, and so very realistically by the end of 2011 you'd be able to use a pedestrian path from Cold Spring to Richmond. And it's very important for everyone to understand that we are working just as hard on the segment from Cold Spring to Rockville. It just so happens that the effort began logically with the connection from Richmond to Cold Spring because of the extension that is there already with the state trail, and also the fact that the funding arrangement is a bit more complicated in Rockville because of the fact that their city is in what's called the Area Planning Organization. So there is a different door to go through to access federal funds. Certainly there is a lot more that I could tell you about this project, but I'm going to keep my comments brief. If you have any questions, you can talk to any one of the 3 city halls, Richmond, Rockville, or Cold Spring. By all means, call, and if you're interested in getting more involved, the Trail Committee is meeting virtually every single month. Their meetings are always the first Thursday, or generally the first Thursday at 9 a.m. in Rockville. So get in touch with me or any of the other area cities, and we can make sure that you're connected with that group if you aren't already.